In our news bulletin for this evening, Neera's social welfare system is now under review. Neera High School assessment processes are being evaluated by the New Zealand National Qualification Authority. White Sunday programs around the island focused on children. Makefu sets the standard as the first village show day for the year. Neera is reviewing its current social welfare system this week in cooperation with the Ministry of Social Development of New Zealand. The process will be an assessment of whether the levels of assistance meet the basic needs of residents with disabilities and those who are retired and working-aged people experiencing hardship. Today's session was the beginning of the process with discussions involving a number of stakeholders in the community.
This is the first of 3 workshops. And I've just come from hearing a couple of the groups' feedback, but it seems to me that they're thinking quite deeply about some of the questions that we've asked them, like the extent to which family members should support their own family members, whether you can get a disability payment from birth or from a particular age. I think there's some good discussion going on whether you should be able to get a hardship payment if you refuse a job. So the discussion is happening, but I think it's a bit early to draw conclusions. Part of the review is to look at whether the benefits that have been around for quite a while are still relevant today, or whether there are other ways that NZQA could approach some issues. We're looking at eligibility and what's paid to people and whether it's enough. As you probably know, there are some people in NZQA who struggle to make ends meet, and part of the purpose of the review is to try to make sure that the benefit system meets people's needs but doesn't do it in a way where it disincentivises people from working.
The review will be to develop options for government's consideration on ways to improve Neera's social welfare system. Another important component when discussing such issues is in regards to finances.
One of the guiding principles of the review is fiscal sustainability. So I think the main area where that comes into play is looking at how we can perhaps better match some people who are currently on hardship to work, because the Department of Community Affairs did a survey of the 40 of the 42 people currently getting hardship payments, and a lot of them were looking for work. They had childcare, they couldn't work, or they had other care responsibilities. So, and some could only access casual or poorly paid work. So that's one of the issues we need to look at. And of course, if you can get more people into work, and there are quite a few jobs in NZQA now, then you've got more money to spread around the people who really can't work.
The focus on the evaluation of the current system will be the long-term well-being of the people of NZQA, and it's also important for the fiscal sustainability for policy stability. Tomorrow we'll also see a session for non-NZQAians and non-government organisations. The next stage will be to report back to the governance group for options to move forward before any recommendations can be made for government consideration. Neera High School is being evaluated on its ability to effectively ensure the credibility of assessments for national qualifications. The school follows the New Zealand Qualification Authority standards, delivering NCEA levels 1, 2 and 3. Hana today, an NZQA school relationship manager, is on the island this week to check the school's assessment practices, internal and external moderation, along with other key focal areas.
If internal moderation is robust, then that'll reflect in their external moderation. So internal moderation is about the teachers checking the assessment material before they assess students and getting the grades, the students' grades verified before they report any results to NZQA. And the other side of that is external moderation, where the teachers have to send materials to New Zealand so that moderators in New Zealand can check that teachers are assessing at the national standard.
Also today, some students received their certificates during the school assembly. These achievements were for NCEA's levels 1 and 2, mathematics and certificate record of learning. This is one way of acknowledging students for their efforts. The achievements also reflects on the ability of the school to support students academically. The ongoing reviews are important to further develop or strengthen areas as well as some changes that have occurred in the school.
Well, since last time, there's a new principal, there's a new director of education. There appears to be a positive attitude in the school as far as the staff are concerned. I guess the leadership change has given them some positive direction on how to manage national assessment for qualifications. My aim is to support the teachers with their assessment practices and hopefully further develop the assessment practices within the school. But from what I've seen, so far, all in all, most of the teachers are doing really, really well. For an island that's so isolated, and they don't have the links that New Zealand schools have with other schools. So the triangulation, the way that they're checking each other's work is with other departments as well. So, on the whole, they're doing very well.
Tomorrow, Neera High School will have half day, finishing at midday, while teachers will have personal development sessions with Harata, and later in the afternoon there will be a session for parents. Last Sunday, the Ekalesia Kristianu Niue held their annual White Sunday celebrations, with most village churches taking part. This day is a very special day for families with young children to show off their skills and confidence in public speaking or launga. Normally, weeks before White Sunday, children are busy learning their memory verses, songs or plays to present in front of their village church gathering. This annual event is a big highlight for some parents, but can be quite harrowing and frightening for some kids, especially standing in front of a huge crowd, which is not every kid's cup of tea. But this is how it goes for every child growing up in this country. And in the past, parents would promise their children sweets or ice cream if they managed to successfully deliver their memory verses. A proud moment for many parents, with the focus primarily on the children, and a rare occasion for all children to have an opportunity to take center stage. For some of the village congregations, they have decided to defer their White Sunday program to next week due to a very busy schedule for some families. Last Saturday, Makefu Palekahuatua set the bar high as the first village show day for the year. Many locals and visitors gathered to the village green bright and early to see what was on sale. This year's program reflected on the theme, Healthy Lifestyle, Active Community. From the sweet-smelling aroma of food cooking, desserts, seafood, food plates, food, and more, the early morning walk was deferred and the program moved ahead. This year's agricultural produce saw a lot of Taran bananas on display. The women decided to base their craft work this year on baskets shaped like a canoe, made using the Sia style of weaving. However, it was the coconut crab race that normally sets Makefu apart from all the rest, with a unique race that had many onlookers eagerly awaiting to see who would win. The youth and youngsters of the village provided the entertainment with a variety of upbeat island music and dance moves. The day concluded with the sika throwing competition that was open to both men and women. A very eventful day for Makefu and a good start to the village show days for 2014. And that concludes tonight's news bulletin.